Hello everyone. In this video, we will look at outsourcing and risk management. In particular, we will see why companies decide to outsource, how they can structure and manage the outsourcing deal, and in particular, how they can deal with the risks related to that. Outsourcing is an ongoing trend, as we already said, related to the fact that the companies are trying to stick more to their core competencies, and therefore they try to ask to someone else to do part of their operations. In fact, the term outsourcing means the transfer of activities that were previously conducted in-house to a third party. And it normally involves transferring to that third party also some assets, people, even competencies related to a given area. Outsourcing started in the production process, starting to buying components, even sub-assemblies, even almost complete finished products from a third party. And more recently, it has also involved business processes, what is called BPO, business process outsourcing. So it touches also the IT department, the HR department, the finance and administration department. Why companies are outsourcing? Companies are outsourcing for three main basic reasons. The first one, they want to free up cash, and therefore they decide to limit the perimeter of their activity. Think about, I've got significant investment in my warehouses across the country, across the overall Europe. I decide to outsource it to a logistic operator, and I get rid of my warehouses across Europe. But another reason is to leverage on someone else's knowledge and expertise. Some areas for me may be marginal. Let's remain in the example of the logistics, of the warehouse and distribution. I may be good in producing food or salami. I may not be good in distributing it. Therefore, I may leverage on the experience of the logistic operator and on the network of the logistic operator. And, of course, last but not least, the three I mentioned, this is very much related to myself focusing on what I can do in the best way, which are my core capabilities and my core activities. Outsourcing has got a lot of advantages. I should mention also as a significant advantage also the flexibility. Outsourcing should give us an increased flexibility. Let's stick with the example of a logistic operator. If I've got peak and I manage on my own a peak, for instance, during the Christmas season or during the summer season, it's difficult for me to have a logistic channel which works at full speed 9 months in a year, and it's idle or misused, used to a limited extent 9 months a year. I better use a logistic operator that can balance my logistic requirement with the different logistic requirement from other industries. So flexibility is another advantage. But after having seen the advantages of outsourcing, we should also mention the disadvantages, which are very significant if I'm not good in managing the outsourcing contract. I may become very dependent on my suppliers that can get a very significant power towards me because I've got some processes may be critical and they are in their own hands. I may have them squeezing me in terms of cost or not performing, not behaving correctly in terms of leakages of information. I may find it difficult to transfer them my priorities, and I can find them rigid. Previously, I mentioned flexibility as one of the advantages, but they can also be rigid because of the service level agreement. They may tell me, no, I won't do this. Our service level agreement doesn't take it into account. And last but not least, I may lose core competencies. I may think that a certain activities is marginal, but then I may realize it was important. In order to take maximum advantage of the potential of outsourcing, as well as limiting the risk and the pitfalls, I should manage the outsourcing process properly. At the very beginning, in terms of strategic design, when I'm doing it in terms of managing effectively the transition phase, and then having good practices for ruling the operational phase. We should in fact be aware that when we do an outsourcing, we take a long-term commitment towards the companies we will select. A long-term commitment can go from 5 to 7 years. Very major outsourcing decision rarely do have a 3 to 5 year scenario. So it's a major decision. And I should give outsourcing a lot of importance in terms of a strategic analysis of the competencies that I want my future partners to have. I should look for potential companies in terms of assessing them, checking them, and only after this I start the contract negotiation, and in the transition phase I look at all these aspects, including the HR people that till a certain date will be my employees, and after a certain date will become employees of of the company that will take the outsourcing deal. In the operational phase, I should manage the relationship both with the company that manage the outsourcing activities, as well as managing the risks related to that. Risks that are technical risk, commercial risk, contractual risk, mainly related to the service level agreement, as well as performance risk. So outsourcing will have a great potential, is having a great potential. Many companies are moving that way. At the same time, we should be aware that is a critical decision, strategic decision that should be managed effectively. And especially the company should be able to keep the governance of the project, of the processes, the outsourced processes, in-house.